When I was working in door-to-door sales about 15 years ago, we had a manager in the company nicknamed Spartan, and that guy could motivate a whole bunch of people to keep them persisting in a very tough industry, so hence the nickname. And he had this great saying that stuck with me over the years, and I want to share it with you guys. He would always say, take the E out of the word emotion, just take the E out and you get motion. Just take action. In the YouTube app, go to notifications and turn on subscriptions. In the settings, go to notifications and scroll to the YouTube app and allow notifications. He would repeat it during his meetings all the time. And it was so simple, but it was very relevant, especially when there were a lot of emotions involved. It just made things so simple. It stresses the importance of motion over emotions. And there's a time and place for dealing with your emotions, but action is always going to take precedence over it. You should always remember to move forward. You should always make progress. You should always build momentum and then make even more progress. Now, when I say this, I don't mean, turning your emotions off and never working through them. I'm not even talking about emotions in the conventional sense of the word. I'm referring to the highly emotional states that men are in when they first make that decision to end their behavior. So a lot of guys who decide to use the porn reboot system will arrive in one of our groups just exhausted and desperate, willing to do whatever it takes to quit. And after a few days away from pornography, though, they feel that they have made a big deal out of nothing, and then they slip. And they keep acting out for as long as they can until they eventually make their way back to that highly emotional state that got them to trying to end their behavior. This cycle continues over and over until a man is finally able to snap out of his emotions and get into motion. He needs to commit to his reboot in a clear state of mind if he wants to make any serious changes in his life. You have to do that. So maybe you are at this point as well. Perhaps you've tried controlling your out-of-control behavior on your own. Maybe you're counting days and you've reached that 30 or 40 day or 90 day mark once or twice, but you tend to slip as time passes. You always find yourself in the same distraught position not long after. You're ready to swear off pornography again. And the same is the case for men who internalize false beliefs about relapses. When you choose to focus on the shame, disappointment, and frustration of a slip, then you're choosing emotion over motion. You can't act rationally when you're trapped in a self-made emotional prison. So until you drop the E in emotion, you're going to stay stuck. When you've struggled with porn addiction for a long time, you've made giving in to your emotions a habit. So men use porn and masturbation to cope with overwhelming emotions from a very young age. Those who get addicted never learned proper coping skills and instead relied on pornography and masturbation to carry them through. You're used to cracking under pressure and giving in to those intense emotions. You've let them run the show for so many years that you're not sure how to get into motion anymore. And I want you to know that that's okay. That's what the porn reboot system is here for. So you're going to feel overwhelmed and emotional when you first begin using the system. Everything will feel irritating and frustrating. When you first stop watching pornography, you'll go through withdrawal symptoms. It might feel like the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. But you're also going to have a set of actions to take every day, which are part of the porn reboot system's routine. And what happens is, over time, the system becomes your primary way of dealing with these issues. You no longer give in to your every emotional whim, your routine takes over, and action becomes automatic. So your emotions no longer control you. And this is when your reboot really starts to take hold. At this point, you've made so much progress that momentum is going to carry you to the point where your brain is fully rewired. And this is by focusing on motion. So sure, there are going to be days when you feel like you need to, let off some steam. You might need to give yourself a little bit of a break. We can't be on in our reboot all the time, but that's no excuse to slip back into your out of control behavior. You can't let yourself get caught up in a bad day and end up progressing or moving forward through the stages of your relapse. The moment you notice your thoughts starting to slip, get right back into motion. You can practice the skills that you've learned to make it through those tough moments when you're triggered. So there are plenty of alternatives to giving in to your emotions and succumbing to relapse. Many of them are in the form of coping strategies. Many of them are in the form of tools which you can use. Many of them are in the form of interactions that you can have with your accountability partners. Whenever you're ready, here are 4 ways that Porn Reboot can help you out for free. The first way is to subscribe to our channel and make sure you click on the notification bell to get a new video every other day. The second way is to get a copy of the free book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men. You'll learn about my personal struggle and the lessons I've learned over a decade, as well as strategies for putting together your porn reboot plan and ending your compulsive behavior with pornography or masturbation. So click on the link in the description below this video. The third way is if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, guys who work in sales, consulting, or high-level jobs, men who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot group on Facebook. There's also a link to join in the description below this video. And finally, if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, you want to be an authentic man and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, click on the link in the description below this video that says free coaching call, or visit elevatedrecovery.org and click on the link which says book a call.